This is Carolina AM.
Hey, welcome back to Carolina AM. Wow, what a wonderful guest that we have today in the studio. Founder of the Best Ever You network, correct? And master life coach, author, best-selling author, Elizabeth Hamilton-Guarino. Thank you so much for
having
joining
me.
us.
I'm so grateful.
How are you this morning?
Great, thank you.
Are you feeling good?
I am.
Excited?
I am.
Yeah, that's great. So I tell you what, before we get into that, are you from here? Are you local?
I am not from
You're
here,
not from
actually.
here.
Well, our son started playing baseball here years ago, and so our stays just kept getting longer and longer, and now we're here for the winter. But I'm actually from Maine and originally from Iowa.
Iowa.
Go
By
Hawks.
Maine. Bahaba.
Bahaba.
Today she's talking, and I tell you what, it's called, the book that we're talking about today is called The Peace Guidebook, How to Cultivate Hope, Healing, and Harmony for the Good of Humankind.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, as an author, I don't write, but I think authors are artists. They are artists.
Thank you.
And you're a creator. You have to, from research, from interviews, from all the stuff that you have to bring together to put pen to paper in a book. I want to ask you, what was the inspiration for this book?
For this one, I've always been a writer since about third grade. When the teacher said, "You know, you're going to be a writer someday," I'm like, "Okay," so that stuck. But my dad had a stroke in 2004.
Okay.
And up to that point, I have life-threatening food allergies and a medic alert on. And up to that point, I'd kind of felt like in victim mode myself. Then he had a stroke. I was sitting there, I took out my journal and I wrote, you know, kind of like the bad song that you were talking about earlier. I wrote Percolate, the ABCs of life in that moment.
Yeah.
And it was all about, he said aardvark in a situation, and we were like, oh, that's interesting. And then he said benevolence, courage, determination, excellence.
ABC going down.
F was an interesting word. And then it went on and on and on. And he said M for movies because he loved movies. And it was at that point where he kind of put his foot down and decided to survive and thrive. And I became a writer in that moment. My first book was a Hay House book called Percolate, Let Your Best Self Filter Through.
Wow.
And he was a stroke survivor from 2004 to 2018. I recovered, I had grief with him. He said, you know, I said, what am I going to do without you? And he said, you're going to put one paw in front of the other and keep going. Like you like dogs and cats, so do I.
Yeah.
And then these 3 books appeared.
That's amazing.
And they're all, he's in there, my mom is in there, my family is in there. I'm a mom of 4 boys.
Yes. I have 2 boys. One's in college, the other 18-year-old and 15-year-old. So.
Mine are older. Mine are older. I have one about
I
to be.
can't even believe that you have a 30-year-old. Look at this face right here, folks. 30-year-old, please.
Yeah, I'm approaching 60 rapidly, so.
Rapidly, I like that. There's no slowing down.
No, there isn't. But, you know, so it's a huge honor to have books like this come out into the world. At my age especially. And I have a big book signing at the Market Common.
Just right up the road.
Just right on Sunday,
We'll talk about that in a minute. And so when I look at a title and I see the word guidebook, I hear it's a guide. It excites me because I'm like, I'm going to grab this book, and it's going to, and to me, when I see that title, it's going to give me an outline of what I need to do. What's going to, it feels to me that this is really going to be easy to help me in a certain way. Is that correct?
That is exactly it. I write books so that they can give you a hug and you can give them a hug. And in the book, the structure of my book, each one of them has 10 principles or points, and it's narrative from me. And then we invite people in with their stories so that you don't feel alone in your moment of whatever. And so we have change, success, and peace. And you know how you were saying earlier, you know, struggling songs and so forth. This is my struggling song because people don't quite understand what to make of it. They think it's, you know, flip houses and make money, and actually it's for when you don't feel good and for when you don't feel enough and for when you just aren't feeling it. And so my books are all about how to align your heart, truths, and energy. To be your best ever you.
That is really, really great.
Thank you.
And we'll get back to what you were saying earlier. So you're going to be up the road, Barnes & Noble. That is on the 29th?
Yep, this Sunday.
29th, from 1 to 4, correct?
I'm going to be there at noon, actually.
You're going to be there at noon?
I am.
So folks, if you want to go over and get one of these books and get it signed, and I'm sure that, and this is kind of a thing where when you get to, To me, as Greg and I perform, we sing at night in a show, and we get to perform to people. I think I would imagine that it's so amazing to have people come up to you and be like, wow, I'm going through this, I'm going through that. Your book has done this for me. Please sign this because this has saved me in a way. Tell me a little bit. Have you had some of those stories?
Oh, it gives me goosebumps.
Okay.
I've had the most interesting people come up at my book signing. So it's never about just signing a book and being like, here you go. It doesn't come from that place at all.
Right.
It is always about who you meet and the stories that they share in that moment. I have met people at my book signings who are actually now in my books.
Oh, amazing.
And then they've referred people to be in the books and share their stories and their stories and their stories. So it's one big community.
One last thing. If there's one thing, only one thing that someone might be able to get from this book, what would you want?
The Peace Guidebook?
The Peace Guidebook.
Oh, pause for peace. Please take a moment. Everything is so chaotic right now. Just take a moment and pause for peace and find those moments of pause and peacefulness and incorporate them into your everyday life as much as you can.
Yeah,
so important.
Go see her at Barnes & Noble. Also, if you can't get to see you, when is the book coming out? April 21st?
April 21st.
Yeah, so where can they get the book if they anywhere and everywhere. Amazon, all the different places, right?
Yes.
It has been a pleasure to talk to you, Elizabeth. You are great.
So
you did a
much.
wonderful job, as always. Hey, stick around when we're headed to Ripley's after the break. You're watching Carolina AM.